It's time to take some of y'all back down memory lane. Remember when Shaggy came off that song called It Wasn't Me? For those of y'all that don't know, the entire premise of the song was a dude got caught dead in the act of cheating. He asked his friend for advice, and the advice that he gave him was just to constantly tell his partner, it wasn't me. No matter what evidence was presented, it wasn't me. Gaslight the mess out of him. But back in the day, I didn't know what gaslighting was. I thought the song was a joke. Then life introduced me to that narcissist. And indeed, these narcs were narking. Let's talk about it. What's going on, warriors? And welcome back to another episode of Reach Home Recovery. I'm your host, Baron, and today we're going to have a quick, real talk session about that gaslighting, blame shifting, no accountability taken, toxic narcissist. And when you start deciphering those actions, you get a coded message about who they really are and how they really feel about you. Because let's face it, we never really knew them. There was some physical attraction up front, and they used that to learn us. After they learned us, they created a character, and that character got close to you. That character got cozy in your corner. But they couldn't hold back their true nature for long. Their ego had to feed, and your supply simply isn't enough to satiate them. Now it's time for them to go out and do dirt. And depending upon the narcissist you're with, dictates the toxic stuff that they're going to do. If you have a more sadistic narcissist, then they'll feed by exerting their power and control over others. They'll beat others into submission, either with their hands, their words, or their actions. And their sick, twisted minds take pleasure over forcing somebody into submission. But on the other hand, you may have a more gluttonous narcissist. And to that narcissist, nothing is enough. They got to have multiple partners. They got to have and spend all the money. They need all the praise, attention, and admiration. And if anybody else is getting even a sliver, that's a problem. Now, to us sane, rational people, we know that's not right. We know that's not sustainable. And a part of the narc knows that as well. But they're in a vicious cycle because they feel like they have to do this negative stuff in order to feed. But the ego is so fragile that it can't accept the blame, shame, and guilt of it. They don't have the ability to self-regulate their emotions, so they have to put it onto you. It will drive you crazy. They'll do some off-the-wall stuff, some stuff you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, then look you dead in your eyes and say, I didn't do that. Or, I didn't even mean it like that. You blown it out of proportion. You'll catch them cheating, text and everything, and they're telling you, well, that's just my work buddy. That didn't even mean nothing. Or, that was in the past. Yeah, the past 24 hours, of course we still upset. But they'll do and say anything to avoid accountability. And it does not matter how much you know about narcissism. When I got my master's at YouTube University, I knew all about blame shifting, gaslighting, word salad. If you watch enough videos, you'll know the ins and outs. And I thought I was prepared to re-engage my narcissist. Now, as a coach, I do not recommend that. But I was young, dumb, and angry. And that narc did something so dirty, I'm not even comfortable mentioning it on camera. But I knew I was going to get my confession. I knew I was going to get the closure that I deserved. So I reached back out. And I was handling it like a champ. I unlocked my inner Shaolin monk because I was dodging the blame shifting. I was blocking the gaslighting. But the narc is so delusional, you can't prepare for it. Then my narc looked me dead in the whites of my eyes and said, it's your fault for trusting me. Wait, run that back? I was bewildered, flabbergasted. Whatever other unconventional word you can use for disbelief is what I was feeling at that moment. And that's when I knew you can't win. I would have went crazy going back and forth in that conversation. And if you listening at this, some of y'all got to that point as well. And they sent you a very clear message. They don't care nothing about you. They never really cared nothing about you. And if you stay, not only is that behavior going to continue, but it's going to get worse. Because that situationship is only ever about fulfilling their wants. Now, if you can live like that, more power to you. But if you're on the flip side, pack their bags, clear whatever mental and emotional space they've been renting, kick them to the curb, and don't let the door hit them with a good lower split them. But be careful as y'all do so, because these narcs out here knocking. All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace. you.